Thanks for staying with us. For our Independence Day special, we'll be speaking with a renowned international development specialist, security consultant, policy and governance expert. We'll also be focusing on Nigeria at 61, our security, economy, call for secession, corruption, governance, and our electoral system. 2023 general election. Before we bring in our guests, who will be joining us soon to talk about this, we'd like to hear your thoughts on where we are at 61. So join the conversation on 081-270-53687 or 091-390-76948. So ladies, happy Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day, Nigerians. Yeah.
So where are we? Where are we? What are your thoughts about Nigeria 61?
I listened on Radio Nigeria this morning to the president's speech. And I think for the first time, they have a proper breakdown of everything because all the areas you wanted to listen to. I listened for the first half, though. Started with COVID and the gains. And, you know, on COVID, you really cannot, you can't find faults. You can't fault. Yeah, aside that, we did not do enough testing, which he didn't refer to. But we are doing enough to make sure that it doesn't spread. And he still also, in his speech, implored Nigerians to continue with all the prevention protocols to ensure that we don't have spread. And he was grateful to God that we're not on the COVID variant 4, or what they call Delta variant, that we're not where other countries are with that new variant, and that we're doing everything to prevent that. So I couldn't fault that. But then he promised, that's where the hope is, that, you know me, I'm always shouting, why are we collecting vaccine? He promised that, you know, that the CBN have a $200 million grant. So I think the sovereign grant, which will be working with that of the CBN, will be given to pharmaceutical companies so that we can ensure that we start our own local production. And then he talked about possible viruses like, you know, what we're dealing with presently. If they come, we want to be able to provide our people with vaccines. That is the way to go. I was just hoping that it would be happening already. But, you know, it's good that they're also thinking where we are thinking. And I hope it's not just lip service, that, you know, they truly start producing those vaccines here. There's no how. Once, for our weapons to fight criminality, we have to buy. To fight diseases also, we have to go and beg. He talked about how poor countries and other countries, and how countries around the world at the UN General Assembly should not hoard vaccines to themselves. There should be proper spread of it. It's good. But we used to be a country that we donated.
Say we too.
Yeah, we too, in the past. We used to be a country. I grew up believing, I still do. And I think that the way to go is to call them back to whatever vision that existed before them, so they should not destroy it pata. But I remember then on the National Television Authority, I used to hear about the great country Nigeria, how we assisted other countries in distress, how we donated, how we get... And now we are constantly going out to borrow, to beg, you know, it's just not sounding nice.
Yes, so happy 1st of October to everyone.
Yeah.
There are two things that really caught my attention with this speech that the president made. First of all, I agree with Nima. I think this particular speech sort of handled almost nearly everything that we have complained and talked about. So there's nothing as tiny as Twitter that he did not mention, and, you know, really gave it much thought. And you would see that there's people have sat down to think about this and then to respond to us. Now, the doing is the second part. Yeah. But the talking that we have always asked, I think this particular speech really addressed a lot of things. So one of the things I said really caught my attention. He says that today, despite the many challenges we face, many Nigerians still want us to be together, and that's just the truth. Yesterday was Cultural Day in most schools. Our children were dressed up in all colors, different colors representing different parts of Nigeria so proudly and so beautifully. And I just looked at it, I said, where are we going? We're going nowhere. I mean, we're so beautiful, so blessed. We really, what Nigerians are talking about is that we really just want it to work. We don't want anybody to feel marginalized. Where anyone feels marginalized, we want you to be able to address those issues. we want to make this work. This morning on my way to work, there are a group of cyclists all dressed in green colors celebrating Nigeria. And these are people from different walks of life, different religions, different parts of the country, different languages. But we're all together. Essentially, Nigerians really just want to be together. And he got that right. Then secondly, another thing that caught my attention is that he acknowledged that the past 18 months have been the most difficult periods in the history of Nigeria. Since the Civil War, I doubt whether we have seen a period of more heightened challenges that we have witnessed in this period. Thank you, sir. Because sometimes, you know, we have sat down here and we're saying, do these people understand what we're going through?
Does he know what is happening?
Does he even know? Is he part of it? Are they hiding it from him? But obviously they know. And now they are speaking the language that... And now that you're speaking in this language, you've met Nigerians sort of halfway.
Yeah.
Now we're talking to people and we're listening to people who understand where we are. Who understand that when we're screaming and shouting, it's not really about politics. It's because we just want something, you know, we just want a better Nigeria. And so... going eventually, of course, subsequently, all the things that he talked about, he listed Apapa, gridlock, everything was well, COVID, of course, agriculture, everything was well addressed.
For me, I was, when I was looking at it this morning, because I couldn't hear him, I was on my way to work, then got into the makeup room while he was just rounding up the speech. So when I read it today, I was like, okay, this makes a lot of sense. He actually itemized every problem that we are having, and he has given possible solutions on what's, you know, the people who are in charge are going to be doing. Yes. But when it comes to the unity part, I would also want him to listen more to people. A lot of people are still feeling choked. There's nothing we can do about it over the years. You know, it's precedents now. They have followed what has happened to their forefathers and their fathers. And over the years, they're still feeling like in this one Nigeria, we are not heard. We don't have a voice. A lot of people feel like they are minorities. And I think the president should listen to them, hear them out. Let us come to the table again and renegotiate. I want one Nigeria. I want us to be together. I don't have any other place I want to go to. I don't want to go to another country to become a second-class citizen. This is my home, this is my country. But we need to come together as one people that have equal powers and equal voices. That's where I think he should look into more. But our guest is ready for us, Dr. Ndubuisi Nwokolo. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you doing today, sir?
Fine. Happy Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day, sir. Are you wearing any of the Nigerian outfit?
Colors.
Well, in my mind, I am.
Okay. Did you listen to the president's speech this morning?
I read it. I have
okay.
it, so I read through everything. Yes.
Okay. What do you think about it? What's your position?
First, I think it's comprehensive. It touched on every part of our national life. It touched on every sector. However, I think many of them didn't come out with strategy on route on how to achieve it. Initially, when I started reading, I felt the call for unity didn't come with a lot of empathy. That was my first feeling. And then when I went through the COVID part, which I felt was well detailed, yes. But in my head, while I was reading, I was like, okay, what we achieved during COVID, we can translate that into other aspects of our national life, especially on the area of insecurity. Yes. Because if you watch what happened during COVID, we didn't succeed because the Nigerian state succeeded. We succeeded because Nigerians succeeded. Nigerians had what the state wanted to do. Nigerians came out and helped the state in achieving it. You could see the money the private sector mustered. People stayed at home, people obeyed, people understood the importance of it. Yeah. So if you look through that, what if we translate the same energy and spirit into other aspects of our national life, especially in the issue of peace building and insecurity, we will achieve a lot. So I think for me, that was good. However, there was a point I didn't agree with, and I felt whoever wrote that should be mindful of that, knowing that we're a country where issues are being judged anyhow, and issues are being judged based on how people feel.
Yeah.
The part where Nnamdi Kanu and Igboho were mentioned, if I was the speechwriter, I wouldn't put that.
Yes.
Because you were asking that people financing them. But Nigerians have been calling, why are you not telling us the names of people who are funding Boko Haram and the bandits? So why are you mentioning Nnamdi Kanu and Igboho? I would not put that. Nigerians know that already, and we're trying to deal with that. So don't mention them. Don't glorify them. I felt that shouldn't be mentioned. So on the area of youth, I think that was important. On the area of National Social Investment Program, I think that is good. And I know the government is working hard to find a way to get the economy working. I think he touched on every aspect of our national life. But, Nigerians who've had some of these rhetorics over and over again. So the answer now is, or the question now is, Mr. President,
what next?
How do we get this working?
Yes.
I think that's the most important thing for us now.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ndubuisi. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, this conversation continues. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Dr. Ndubuisi, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Nima.
Okay, Dr. Ndubuisi, this morning, one of our harshest realities, which is the cost of food prices, was referred to by the president, and he blamed the continuous increase in prices on middlemen. He also talked about what the agencies under the Ministry of Agriculture and the National Food Reserve Agency were doing, which includes setting measures that he put. And also he talked about the river basin development authorities who were building dams to ensure that, you know, there was more food and there's irrigation for agriculture and all of those things. Do you agree that this is why we have an increase in food prices? Or, you know, like everybody else is saying in the country, it is largely because farmers are not feeling secure enough to go to farms?
No, I don't think I agree with the president and whoever are his handlers or whoever wrote that part of the speech. Just lied to our face, and they should know that we know better. I'll give you an instance. My organization next year has people who do survey for us. As I'm talking to you, one of the states that we know as the food basket of the nation is Zamfara State. Even we know that they say farming is our pride. 80% of farmers in Zamfara cannot go to farm. 3 days ago, someone called me from Kaunamnaunda and told me that a whole village has relocated out because bandits will not allow them to go to farm. The bandits come and they will come at harvest time and count all the bags, and the farmers have to pay levies. It's as bad as that. So what are we saying? We're talking about states like Zamfara, Katsina, Sokoto, Kebbi, Niger, Benue, Borno, Adamawa, our food baskets. So how can we have food security when these states farmers are no longer producing? We know it's not true, and whoever wrote that part of the speech shouldn't be putting Mr. President in such difficult position. Let him know what the truth is. It's not true. It's not about the middlemen. Let's not forget, let's not be dealing with the symptoms when we know the main cause of the issue. The issue is that the bandits, there's a lot of insecurity in the country, especially around the places where our food are coming from. And we cannot maintain that large quantity that can sustain us. So I think that's the truth.
I have, you know, there's another part I read, which is we recovered from economic recession in the Q4 of 2020 with a GDP growth of 0.11%. So, you know, we know the official and the theoretical recovery, but the truth is that Nigerians don't feel like there's any recovery from any recession. There's a serious economic downturn. If I cannot go to the market and get food at the prices that, you know, I used to or I can afford, then I don't see where the recovery we're talking about is. If some people are not being paid, we're talking of pensions and gratuities, and then when we talk to governors, they say, oh, we're not getting enough funds, we're not getting... So where is this economic recession that we have recovered from? What is your take on this?
Well, let me start with a good analogy that Nigerians can attest to.
Okay.
We all eat bread. I think 90% of Nigerians eat bread.
Yes, sir.
So what is the cost of bread in the last 1 year? An average loaf that a family of 4 can eat, what is the cost?
Almost
500.
It has moved 500 in some places, 600-700 naira in some places.
1,000 now.
So you can't tell an average family that the economy is improving when the money they spend on their food has increased. So the GDP you're talking about, they are just numbers.
Exactly.
So for an average family, the woman, especially our mothers who go to the market to buy all these things and do all the calculations and all the mathematics to make sure that their children will eat. So you don't come and be reading out numbers for them. What they want to know is that if they go to the market, they should be able to buy enough for their family. Their children shouldn't go hungry, shouldn't cry to bed because there is no food. So those numbers we are reading out means nothing to them. So I think we need to work on our economy, and the only way we can start working on our economy is to start working on issues of insecurity in the country. Because we are not attracting enough foreign direct investment. Even our local business people are even
running stress.
are even running away. Some are not even investing. Most are even converting their money into pounds and dollars.
True.
So we need to watch, we need to start dealing with issues of insecurity. I think that's, for me, that is what I want to listen to, the route, the strategy of what we needed to do. And that is very important. It's the key to our economic recovery for now. I listened to the discussion you had on the Southeast. The Southeast economy is on its knees. A situation where 2 to 3 days people are scared to come out, they don't open their shops, they don't go to market, nothing is happening. So what are you saying? Most people because the way how Southeast economy is designed is that most people come in from other parts of the country to buy from the Southeast. Yeah. And then the Southeastern economy is equally supported by diaspora fund. People are no longer sending money home to do any investment or to do any business in the Southeast. They can send money for food and other things to their family, but they are not sending money that goes into business, because you can find an average Southeastern who is in the US. He's doing one business that the money goes back to Nigeria and he doesn't take the money back. So those monies are not coming back again. Those goods they are sending in from China, Indonesia, are no longer coming in. So the Southeastern economy is on its knees and somehow is affecting other parts of the country. So we just need to know that is a situation of, they say, what touches the eye will touch the nose.
Yeah.
So every part of the country is important to the other.
Because you talked about goods now and things coming back home from imports coming into the country quickly. The president admitted that the state of our ports is not improving. Exactly. He admitted that sort of raised my hopes. But when he talked about the e-call-up system and the Lily Ponds converted as a pre-gate area so that you don't have, that's just sort of deflated the hope that I had gotten raised, because we cannot deny that the inability to do business easily, import and export easily, would affect our economy, and even maybe the cost of, because we don't get dollars, there's no exchange, and so our naira continues to remain where it is, and as long as the naira continues to depreciate presently as what it is in the black market, things are not going to improve.
Exactly. Now, I once argued in one forum where I said, while we try to revive importation into the country or put our ports and our port system in order to work very well, we should equally look at decentralizing our port system. Lagos can't contain everybody. Abi? There are people who live in Lagos just because they have to clear their goods from Lagos. They have no cost to live in Lagos. Yes. So why don't we look at Calabar? Why don't we look at Warri? Why don't we make Port Harcourt to work very well? Why don't we decentralize this so that Lagos can at least breathe a fresh air? Yes. It's important we look at this. So the time you travel from Apapa or the Tinkan and all this, to come out into the main part of Lagos is enough for you to go from Lagos to Sokoto. Yes. So we need to start dealing with this thing. And the only way we start dealing with this thing is that at times when I look at the way policies are driven in this country or policies are written, you wonder where we're going to. For instance, the situation where we took a naval base to Kanu for what? These are the kind of things that when government takes, or when the government takes such action, other parts of the country are asking, so what is there for us?
Dr. Ndubuisi, let's take a short break. We'll come back to you. Thanks for staying with us. Dr. Ndubuisi, are you still there? Yes, so let me ask you, as a security expert, a lot of people have said that we will not have a headway in security issues if it's still in the exclusive list. What's your thought on it?
Yeah, I think whoever said that is right. First, I tell people that security is local. It's local in the sense that local intelligence is important for any result you want to achieve. Now, issue of state police have been in our front burner. We've tried to drag it left and right and center, and we will not be able to agree whether is the route to follow. But for me, what I say is that I've never seen any book written practical route to swimming. If you need to swim, you need to jump inside the swimming pool. You can't be outside and reading the theory on how to swim. So we need to agree that if we need to achieve this level of security that we need, there must be an element of decentralization in such a way that local communities and the state get involved. You can't be in Abuja and be directing what is happening in my community or back. You know, like in my every community has its own vigilante. So how do you fuse in these vigilante groups into a state-designed architecture that pulls everything together? It cannot be happening from Abuja. So I think whoever said that policing cannot be in the. I want to use policing now, not just the military. Yes, is a state. Is meant for the state, as in the country. But issue of policing must have a second level, even a third level. You know, as is done in, especially considering the constitution we are running. We are running a federal constitution. Yeah. It's not a unitary state. So local government should have a kind of a design local government security architecture. Then the state should have its own. Yeah. And then the federal. You can now interwove all these things together to have an architecture that works for a country.
Thank you, sir. Let's get in a few more questions.
So, Dr. Nwokolo, I'm trying to, let's get a positive. We have sort of dissected the negative. Do you think this is a positive where, the president mentioned that we have currently done about 13,000 kilometers of roads and bridges under construction all over the country, and a fair percentage of them have been completed? He also talked about the extension and upgrading of the Nigerian railway network, and he talked about the Warri-Itakwe standard gauge rail line coming up. For me, I think that's a positive, and that's a fact. What do you think?
Of course, anywhere in the world, infrastructure is a positive. We all know what is happening in the U.S. between the $1 trillion and $2.5 trillion, which they are trying to raise for infrastructure development in the U.S. The important thing is for us to understand that what infrastructure does is that it opens up an area, but it's critical for you to know that it's not only about you putting up an infrastructure. Is that infrastructure able to sustain itself and pay back the loan that you've used in doing it? I think that's where most Nigerians are a bit. I want to use the word worry in the sense that some are asking, okay, this is good, but in the long run, would it be able to generate the money to pay back what the investment you've made? I'll give you an instance. We all know about the Lekki toll gate. If I'm an investor and you've given me Lekki toll gate, I will be so happy to do that. A private investor, I'll be so happy to do the investment because I know that any money I put there, I should be able to get it back. Yes. Even if I'm doing 100% investment or a PPP. But if you do an investment where you are not able to recover the money, it becomes an issue. But there might be an argument from people on the other side, or what is the social value of an investment. We understand that at times an investment should have a social value, where the government is not really there to earn anything. But however, we all know what is happening. Oil, we are running out of the grace of oil. So every investment we do now as a country, we need to be critical about it. We need to have cross our T's and dot our I's. It's not time now to throw money away because we don't even have the one to throw away. So we have to be critical with every investment, especially how do we pay back
All right, Dr.
I think that
Nwokolo.
is critical.
Okay.
So the president referred to media this morning when he talked about unfiltered comments and, proper investigation that, Nigerian media houses must do whatever it takes to vet whatever they give to the public. But we found where, some reporters have investigated stories neatly, like the ones about the prisons done by, I can't remember.
Journalist?
Yes, a journalist, the one done within the prisons, and we did not see any result. We've seen reporters doing as much as they can to lock a story down, and they release that about agencies, and we don't see any revamp within the agencies. What do you have to say about, that side of the statements?
I remember when President Clinton came to Nigeria after he left office, that was a statement he made. He said that our critics are our best friends, because most times they tell us the path to follow. I think that's what that's what the media is there to do for any government. You listen, you critique, and then if the idea they are bringing is the route to follow, there's nothing there in you saying, I need to follow that. When I talked about the issue about doing the naval base in Kanu, if you read columns written by Nigerian journalists on that, you understand that the government didn't have any need doing that. For instance, if you read the speech of the Mr. President today, he talked about the piracy, which we're a bit trying to win the war.
Yes.
Imagine if the naval base, if there's the naval base around our coastal lines, maybe in Bayelsa State or Rivers State, are improved more. Don't you think that it will, if the result we are getting is 10%, that it will increase it by 40%?
I agree.
So, why are you starting a new project where it is not needed? You're wasting money that we don't have. So, a situation where media come to do such a criticism, they are blamed for saying the truth. Government is there to listen.
Yes.
We're all in this together. I pay my tax. My children will equally pay some of the debt that we are generating for them now.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So there is right for us to say whatever thing that is the truth, knowing that conscience is an open wound. It's only the truth that heals it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ndubuisi Nwokolo. Thanks for joining us in this conversation. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we move on to our last topic. Let's talk topics. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.